and smile.
Hey everybody, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. So in today's podcast, and first of all, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you're listening to the replay or if you're watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciated. We see our numbers increasing every time we do them. So here we are. And the main reason why we want to do this is we want to add as much value as we can. Just to help people, really. And obviously, I guess at some point in turn that helps us because they usually become clients at some point. But even if you don't, our job here is to help you create more content, get more business, retire rich, move overseas, live happily ever after, snooze on a hammock, whatever it is that is your thing. That's what we're here for. And so in today's session, I want to talk to you about some content creation tips. And one of the biggest ones that I was having a conversation with someone yesterday was about making one really good piece of content. Stop doing it. It's like, you don't need one really good piece of content. You need lots and lots of content, right? So instead of spending like 4 hours creating one really good piece of content, I would much rather you spend 1 hour creating one piece of content and then another hour creating another piece of content. So now you've got 4 pieces of content. Even better than that would be for you to spend 4 hours creating 8 pieces of content. Now you've got, a half-hour piece of content that's going to go out every single day. Even better than that is going to be creating 16 pieces of content that last 15 minutes each. Call it 12 minutes with a 3-minute gap. Like, now suddenly you've got one every 2 days. You've got almost another 30 days worth of content. Even better than that. You see where this is going? Now, obviously, at some point, you're going to run out of time here. I'm not very good at creating content less than 1 minute long. But if I were 6, 12, 18, 24 is 240 minutes. That'd be 240 pieces of content. Like you do that, you've got, I don't know, I can't do the maths anymore. What's that divided by 30 days? It's a lot, right? You've got 6, 12, 18. Anyway, you've got a lot of content that you could be putting out 2 or 3 or 4 times every single day. So like for us, our job really, and we're really hit and miss on this as well, by the way, like I'm a hypocrite. I get it. Our job should be to continue to create lots and lots of content as well. Sometimes we're very successful at that and sometimes we're not. And where possible, we try and create content that goes out every single day. I just got back in from CrossFit this morning. I recorded a piece of content on the way back. Because stuff occurs to me while I'm CrossFitting, but I'm like, oh, we should share this. It's really useful information. Or it's conversations from yesterday that we've had either with clients or with potential clients that we know that this piece of content can actually help them. And so it's not just one really great piece of content. I mean, it can be. There's a caveat here. If you're running Facebook ads to a landing page and you've got one really good piece of content that you spent 4 hours creating a 30-minute workshop, then yes, absolutely, it should be one really good piece of content. But most people aren't doing that. Most people are creating crap content that goes out, a picture of some cats, like a picture of someone pouting. Like, stop pouting, please, stop it. It's not normal, it's not natural. What are you pouting for in your pictures? Just take a picture of you. Taking a picture of you running and looking out of breath or working out or add value in some way. But you don't need one really good piece of content. You need lots and lots and lots of content. And more importantly, I think, as we're progressing through the 2020s, I think going live is the key. Like, it's not just going live, it's all the other stuff that you have with it. So, if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't need to use a content creation company, I can just go live all the time. No, that also doesn't work just on its own. The live is the bricks, and all the other bits are the mortar that goes around it. The bricks and mortar, the cement that goes around all that. Having a landing page, having email follow-ups, having images and video being created and published out onto social media, showing features and benefits of products. All that stuff is what's needed. And one of the really cool things is, for example, you could create a piece of content right now called Stop Making One Really Good Piece of Content. So you could steal this and you could create it. And if you created that, do you think that would be the same as mine? No, it'd be completely and utterly different. And the reason why it's completely and utterly different is that you aren't I, and I aren't you. So it would be completely different, which basically means that your personality is what we want to shine through. And we talked about connection in yesterday's or the day before in that podcast. The connection with your end user, the person who's thinking about using you, that's actually the bit that's most important. It's not the content, it's the connection. And most people are missing out on this because they go, oh, I don't want to go live and I don't want to do video. Like, I also don't want to do video. I tried for the last couple of days. I've been using an app to use a green screen behind me and then just talk bollocks about someone's tweet for less than a minute. I cannot do that, right? For me, this is my happy place. Being sat in my desk, got my lighting, I got my nice microphone and my nice camera and my nice... I've just bought... what's it called? A top light. I forgot what the name of it is. I've got all my stuff. I've got all my little gadgets on my desk. That's how I like to go live, right? I can't walk around my garden like there's one property guy and he just walks round and round in his garden. I'm not going to say his name. It drives me mad. Hi! I'm going to shout into my phone lots while walking around my garden. I can't do that kind of thing. I've tried and you just look like a knob. I can't do that kind of thing. It's probably because he is a bit of a knob. But for me, being here, I can make lots and lots of content. This is my happy place. I'm sat at my desk and I can do that. But you don't need to make one really good piece of content. You need lots and lots and lots and lots of content because you're going to post it once. And then what happens after you post a piece of content once? Crickets. Nothing. A bramble blowing across the driveway. Tumbleweed, right? Nothing happens when you create one piece of content. You have to create thousands of pieces of content over a period of time. That's the thing, because people are watching. We had someone contact us yesterday. They've been watching my stuff for the last 8 years. We've been running podcasts for the last 8 years. We're doing a website for them now. Took them that long to actually come round and actually buy something from us. That can be how long the sales cycle is. And then other times you get people go, oh, I saw you on your podcast. I like what you were talking about. Can you help me do this, that and the other, right? So the sales cycle can be really short, but usually it's not really short. Like, everybody wants it to be really short, but it's not. So deal with it. Acknowledge and accept the fact that this is your life now. I've acknowledged and accepted the fact that in order for me to maintain my weight, I need to, 1, watch what I eat, 2, go to CrossFit 3 or 4 times minimum a week. If I can do it a little bit more, then great. But 4 times is the absolute tipping point for me in order to maintain my body shape. Like, I'm 50 now. I've accepted the fact that this is my life now. I've also accepted and continually accepting the fact that video and lives and adding value and building connection with people is also my life now. Like, I can't change those things. If I do change those things, the business falls over, right? Because we've not got any visibility. And my weight loss, it goes, just honestly, I went to Brighton SEO, put a kilogram and a half on after like 4 days in the UK. I'm so bad at being away from my happy place and eating well. Dreadful at it. So the next content creation tip is that this idea that perfection is what's needed. And it's not. It is holding you back. I would rather you create 16 pieces of content that are not perfect than one piece of content that's taken 4 hours, but it's relatively perfect, right? Perfection doesn't exist. Now, I just want to have a caveat on this as well, because I believe heading for perfection is a good thing to do. I know in Star Trek Voyager, 7 of 9, because she's Borg, and the Borg are looking for perfection, and it's classed as a bad thing. And I actually think perfection is a good thing, but it's this heading towards perfection is good. Being obsessed with perfection is bad. And I just need to get that caveat here. So, like, aiming for your perfect body, right? You ain't ever getting there. But the journey towards perfection means you've got to eat right, and you've got to lose weight, and you've got to work out. The journey towards perfecting your marketing campaigns means you've got to put a lot of content out there. The journey to perfecting your business income means you've got to do all of these things. It doesn't mean that you don't sell anything until you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you don't create content until it's perfect. That focus on perfection is what will hinder your progress as a business owner. You ain't perfect. Your management skills need work. Your marketing skills need work. Your lifestyle skills, your relationship skills, everything that we do as a human, it always needs work and it can always be improved upon. And that's okay. That's not a problem. That's totally cool. Just acknowledge the fact that that's where we are. Perfection is overrated in so many ways. And I hear people, oh, well, you can do that, Dan, but not me, because I'm a perfectionist and I like things to be right. And it's like, yeah, but that's why you're poor, goddammit. That's why you're not closing business, because you want this one piece of content that's amazing and it's perfect. And you spend all week doing that. And in the meantime, I've created 30 little pieces of content, 18 podcasts, 4 images, long form copy. And I've booked in 3 strategy calls, and you're still working on, this logo needs to be a bit bigger, a bit bluer, a bit smaller, a bit to the left. It's like, it's bollocks. Stop doing it. It's not helping you. It's really hindering you. Perfection can come later on. First of all, you need experience, and you do that by creating a lot more content. The other thing that you can do then, in terms of our content creation tips, the other thing that you can do is repurpose older content. So, for example, if I go and look at, in fact, I can probably do it. If I go look at some of my older YouTube stuff, content that I've created, let me go to my YouTube channel, and then let's go to videos, and then let's just go all the way down to an old piece of content. Let's have a look here. Okay, so let me go and share screen. I just want to show you this, and I want to show you how we might repurpose some content. And we're not even having to repurpose it a lot. Okay, let me share this, and okay, put it there. That's fine. That should do it. Oh, hang on a second. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, I just want to show you this because I think you'll quite like this. Perfect. Okay, so let me share that. So, as you can see here, allocate funds on a spreadsheet. Plan your next year. Plan your networking events. Why you just need 1,000 people. Why consistency wins every time. Why you need to be seen. Like, we can take those as, these are shorts, by the way, that get taken from a podcast like this, and then they get put onto YouTube. And if you're listening to this, by the way, I forgot, we're just looking at my YouTube channel, and it's just got lots and lots and lots of content. Why attention is a currency of 2022. We could probably rename that and put 2023. Or why attention is the currency this year. Like, we could rename some of these. We could, and actually some of these do need renaming, so I'm probably going to do that this afternoon because it's not overly clear. But we can take all of this content and then we can repurpose it back out, drive more traffic to this, and add more value. Just come back to me. Here we go, back in the room. So we can repurpose that, and then there's a second way of repurposing it as well. And the second way of repurposing content is where you go live, like we're live now, and then we're live on video right now. So what we'll do is we will take this video, and then, like literally this afternoon, one of my guys will take the MP3, he will create a podcast out of that and then upload it to iTunes and so on, so people can listen to the podcast, and then we'll schedule those out. We've actually got 3 pieces of content that are already scheduled for the next 3 or 4 days, so it will go out on probably Sunday or Monday, whatever day that happens to be. And then the other thing that we do is, for each one of these items here where it says so it says content creation tips, that's what I'm supposed to be talking about, but this arrow that we can move up and down, stop making one really good piece of content, perfection is holding you back, repurposing content, which is what we're talking about now, we'll actually split this into 4 separate videos, and then we'll upload those to YouTube as a separate standalone edition. So what people then get is they get the entire live and the entire podcast that they can watch on video. They can download it as an MP3 or listen to it on iTunes or Spotify or Amazon or whatever you want to watch it on. And then in addition to that, we have these smaller short form videos that we can then post out across social media. So we've got lots and lots and lots of content, and it's not then reliant on me having to go live every single day. One little caveat is, if you're thinking about doing this, is that don't put dates on it. Like, I'm really bad at this. You've seen one. Attention is what's needed in 2022. What am I putting the year 2022 on? It's now 2023, and next year it'll be 2024. I just need to put why attention is the currency for this year, right? So we're not putting timescales on it. I'm really bad at that, but you can do better, I'm sure, than I can. I keep telling myself to stop doing it, and then what do? I go and do it. So we've got lots of ways of repurposing content. And actually, you know what, we're really slack on. I should just go into YouTube and go this, and this. I should tell our team the ones I want to repurpose, and then they just issue those and send them out. And so there's no reason why you also can't do the same. If you're struggling creating live content as much as we do, for example, and I don't even think we create that much live content. I mean, we go live every day. We sometimes have long form, and we're not as good as we could be. That's for sure. Okay, next up on content creation tips is to re-promote existing content. So that's one of the things we've actually just talked about, which was not just repurposing content and turning it into an MP3 or a short form piece of video lasting a few minutes, but you could also re-promote existing content. So if we did go back to the YouTube channel that we just looked at, I've got old content that we can actually put out there onto social media. And again, stop putting the years on. This is me telling me, by the way. Stop putting years on, because you can't, the time scale is unimportant, because the attention is the currency was accurate in 2022, is even more accurate in 2023, but now we've put a year on it, we can't do that anymore. But old content that you've created, like we've got 8 years worth of podcasts. So I, for example, could go back out and look at one of the older podcasts, okay? And I could post that onto social media. Well, what we'd probably do is we'd embed it on my website, and then we'd post it out onto social media. And some of those older podcasts that we did, maybe interviews, maybe the top ones that, got the most listens or downloads or whatever, they're the ones that we might then want to re-promote, because they're the ones that got the most views and that we know that people are liking, but obviously they still have to be relevant to today. So going back to 8 years ago, we did one called about Brexit, for example. Brexit hadn't even happened at that point. There's no point in re-releasing that one, although actually that might be quite relevant given what a piece of junk Brexit turns out to be. Who would have guessed that leaving our biggest trading partner would have screwed so many businesses? Wow, that's just what a surprise. That's sarcasm, by the way. So you've got this opportunity to re-promote existing content. And you know what? Nobody was watching it the first time you did it, or the second or the third, right? So if you've got videos that are actually still relevant today that are maybe 4 years old, and maybe a few less grey hairs. My daughter was trying to pick out grey hairs yesterday, and I'm like, I'm not going to have any hair left. But as long as you're not completely different. If you lost 40 pounds. And people don't recognise you anymore, people don't know it's you. But you can take that content from a long time ago and you can push it straight back out. And then the only thing I would say is, on Facebook, for example, people don't like, 3 or 4 videos going out every single day. But on Twitter, I was looking at Grant Cardone's, he's got like between 12 and 18 pieces of content going out on Twitter every single day. And usually it's just a load of bollocks. It's just, be strong, be powerful. Today's your day. It's all that motivational claptrap. But actually, Grant, for example, would do much better promoting some of his content and breaking it down into little video snippets. And he should be doing more of that on Twitter. Twitter is like this feed that it just goes and goes and goes, right? Like, I've got 14,000 connections on Twitter. Like, if I see a post from earlier this morning and I want to go back to that post, I've got no chance of finding it because my feed just goes like this. And if you imagine that your feed also goes like that as well, me posting 22 times on Twitter, you're probably only going to see it once anyway. So it makes no difference. Post as many times as you can on those platforms. LinkedIn's slightly different and Facebook's slightly different, but Instagram is the same. You can do it on Instagram and you can do it on Twitter, 100%, absolutely, for sure. And so you can actually get some of that content re-promoted, put out there. And this, again, it's all about attention, and it's all about you creating as much content to get eyeballs on who you are, to build those connections so that at some point someone's going to make contact, if you want to buy from you, whatever it is you happen to sell. And that's how you're going to grow your business this year. All right, hope that's useful. We will catch up with you probably tomorrow. Have a good one in the meantime, and take care.